Hello everyone, welcome to Icing Inspiration Cookie Decorating live stream where we focus on all things cookie decorating. I'm Hani, founder of Eyelashes, and I've been decorating cookies since 2008, and today we're going to go back in time. We're going to decorate a unicorn cookies, mythical creature that has been known from many moons ago. I think the trend, I was thinking about the trend when the food trend started, and I think it started about 10 years ago, where we started to see cakes, cookies, cupcakes, everything turned into unicorns. So let me know if any of you have done any unicorn treats. Doesn't have to be just cookies, anything unicorn. Let me know in the comment section. I'm just looking who is here today. Hi, Charlie. How is it going? Hello, Heather to Chattanooga. Hi, Kathy. I see some new names. Hello, Ashley. Hi, Karen. Brutally hot in North Carolina. Yeah, I can imagine. I think even here in Europe, it's quite hot. So try to stay cool if possible. Hello, Sherry. Hi, Byron. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, you already you're ahead of us all. You're already thinking about nutcracker for Christmas. Yeah, that would be really fun to do. I haven't done a nutcracker, so maybe I'll do that. Hello, Sally. Hello. Hi, Irma. Oh, I'm sure you are great as me as well. There's no need to compare ourselves. I'm sure you are wonderful. Hello, Karen. Hello, Sally. Thanks, Sally. I love this dress. It is so light and it's great for the summer. You're so sweet. Thank you. Hello, Christian. I don't speak any Spanish yet. I'm terrible. And I've been in Spain for a while. Hi, Linda. Sally has made some unicorns in the past. Were they all cookies or did you make other treats? Because I haven't made a cake, I think, although I have like different cake toppers for cookies that I could use. But I made what are they called? The apple like Pop-Tarts, I think, with like unicorn theme, which was really fun. So hello everyone. I'm trying to see everyone in the comment section. Hi Debbie, South Florida. Hello Judith. Any more candy corn? Oh, I actually just did I used candy corn for the Patreon tutorial to create a basket. I'm gonna see if I have picture here, but probably not. It's in the Patreon group. Hello, Colleen. Hello, Angie. Hello. Hi, Vanessa. You've done Karen. She's done plenty of unicorn cookies. Yeah, it's such a popular. I think it was going to die, kind of slowly die off, but it's still kind of going. And so I myself have done some unicorn cookies also. Let me just bring up my. So I can't tell you exactly the years, but I've done these many years ago. This is a cutter by Anne Clark. And there are also so many different cutters now that are available. So I first had this cutter. Then I used, I think this was a pineapple. I can't now remember. I used a different cutter to make unicorn. And then the last unicorn, this was a strange cutter. This was a challenge we did with Marlin, I think 2018 or something like that, where we used a bunny shape, and I turned it into kind of like a very dreamy unicorn. And I did, like I said, some other like non-cookie unicorn inspired treats. Oh, and another unicorn. And these dolls are not. I don't think these are available anymore. LOL dolls. So this was a really popular trend also in 2018, I think. So this was a unicorn I did. This was a very kind of like complex cookie with transfers and all that. So I do have templates for these. If you still have someone who loves these dolls and would love to get some cookies, I have templates on the blog. So if you, I don't have the direct link here, I can copy paste it into the comments, but if you look up LOL dolls, Hanielas in Google search, they will come up and the templates are there in the blog post. Okay, let's just, oh, you love the bunny shaped flip. Yeah, it was really fun. I don't know. Sometimes I see weird things. Central. Oh, you made the unicorn hot cocoa bombs. Wow. How did you? Oh, I guess did you make the horn with chocolate too, or how did you do that? By the way, I also, I mean, you probably know this, but the horns, the unicorn horn has magical powers, right? So it can like remove poison from water and all that. So it's a very useful animal. Beautiful cookies. I love the bunny. Yes, yes. Okay. So I'm going to remove this and then we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, I'm going to bring up my screen. I want to show you the cutter that I used. This is a new cutter. I got this, well, new. I got this a year ago, and I really like the shape. It's just a very nice shape, and so I decided to use it. I have about 3 or 4 unicorn cutters. All, I don't think I've tried them all actually. I do have a full body one that I haven't tried. I feel like it's a little too finicky to cut the cookies with it. And so I use this cutter, and I also made templates. If you're a member of Patreon group, you've seen my little behind the scene video where I showed you how I create these templates. Now, the method that I use, it's pretty archaic. I mean, I just I sketch it out and then I cut it out. You can also use apps like Procreate or something like that to create these. But I have a great deal of fun making these by hand still. So I'm going to be using this template. And as far as the colors, I decided to go with different color theme instead of more traditional kind of like rainbow hues. We're going to be using, let me just get these here into the shot. So these are my main colors. So this is like a Wedgwood blue, ivory. You can, I don't know if you can tell, but this is kind of like a salmon color, and this is white. Then I will have some black, but that's very minimal. And then also white, because they are unicorns. They are mostly depicted as white, white horse or white goat. And so I'm keeping that that theme with the white. And to get the salmon color, you can just use peach food coloring if you have that, or you can use a little bit of, you can use pink and just add a minuscule amount of orange to it. Don't add too much, especially if you're using a straight from a bottle orange. Try not to add too much. You haven't done any unicorn cookies before. Okay, so it's time to change that. Maybe you have someone who will appreciate those. I think these are such a nice, they're more feminine cookies, obviously, and I think the girls are more kind of attracted to them. But you can also use different colors to make them maybe a bit more masculine if you wanted to. I used pink melts or candy melts for the bomb and yellow melt in the mold to make the horn. It was filled with strawberry. Ooh, yum. Exciting. And then I assume you glued everything together. That must have looked really cool, but I wonder, how did you transport it without the horn kind of like breaking? You probably figured that out, right? I would probably, I don't know how I would do, how would you package that? Let me know. I am always curious about how you guys figure out how to package things, and it's also great to learn new things. So I'm gonna get my cookie here in a screen, and we're gonna start by tracing the guide. And like I said, this is just cardstock, and I used X-Acto knife to cut out these short slits. And so now I can place it on my cookie. You want to make sure that you kind of align it somewhat. If your cookie doesn't bake perfectly, I would focus perhaps on an eye. So you center that, and then you can use the marker. I'm gonna be using this is a yellow marker. You can use brown, which I also like, but yellow, it's such an underused marker, and this way I can find use for it. Black you can use, and I have used black for many years, but I find that with certain colors, it tends to bleed. So now I've got my guide on a cookie, and I'm just going to finish it by hand like this, just so we know where to start piping. And then we've got the horn. So eyes here. All right, everything looks good. Now we're gonna do the, okay, here we go. We're gonna do the eye. So I'm gonna start, well, actually, I'm gonna start with the ear, because we're going to create some depth here. So we're gonna spread a little bit of icing onto the ear first. Then I will do the eye, and then I will do the horn. And I will tell you why I'm doing the horn so early on. So let's start with this salmon color. Okay, and if you have any questions, you can just pop them in the comment section. I also released, and I know I have been slacking in that department, my newsletter. So I put the link into the comments. It's a newsletter. It's a 2-month newsletter that includes all the live streams. So if you missed any of the live streams, you can get all the links in this newsletter, and it's in a coffee. If you are subscribed to my cookie decorating newsletter, you have already received an email where I share the link to the PDF for this newsletter. If you're not subscribed, you can just grab it. It's a free download from my coffee shop. Thank you, Colleen. I think you could use any cutter. I think as long as it has a horn, you could probably kind of utilize any kind of cutter. It doesn't always have to be exactly looking like a horse head. I think it could. Like I said, I did a square, and I just added like a rainbow icing on top. Like it was a square, the apple tarts or something like that. I have it on a YouTube channel. And I just spread like rainbow icing, and I did a marzipan horn, and yeah, everybody can tell it's a unicorn. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started with this. You need a paintbrush, or you can also use a little boo-boo stick. You can just spread a little bit of that pink icing in the middle there. And if there's excess, if you have too much, you can just remove it and wipe it clean into a paper towel. You just need a little bit of that color in there. And okay, this looks pretty good, because this is gonna be, remember like when we do the ears for the bunnies? So the idea is the same. Now to make the eyes, we're going to need 3 colors. So I'm gonna be using white for the sclera. Then we have what's the white is sclera. Now I'm lost for words. Right, I have done so many eyes. Sclera, this one I can remember, and then we have the pupil, right? What's the blue part? Somebody help me out here. I can't remember. Okay, so when I'm gonna when doing the eyes directly on the cookies, now I'm gonna be adding white icing around it. So even though my outline it's here, I'm going to make my eyes slightly bigger. This is going to help us when we are flooding around, because that flood icing is going to cover iris. Thank you. Thank you. So sclera, iris, pupil. So the idea is making the eye slightly larger So then when we come in with the flat icing and we're going to go around the eye, it's going to cover some of that eye, that flat icing. So if you make the eye too small, then it's not going to be kind of visible, or it's just going to look very, very odd, very small. So I'm going to try to do it bigger. I'm going to go on the outer edge of my guide. You see, like I'm not following I'm following the yellow, like the shape, but I'm going the outside. You see, so the yellow is inside. And now instead of flooding the whole thing, because there we're gonna have a large iris, I'm just going to ice this area here, and it's gonna be fine because the middle will have the blue iris. And this is about, I would say, like 20 to 25-second consistency icing. I'm using thicker icing because I want to avoid cratering. You could also make eyes as transfers. There's no harm in that. And now let's do, oops. And now I'm going to use my scribe tool and up and down motion, smooth that out a little bit. And now we can come in with the black. And I'm going to do black pupil here. Sometimes what happens, my piping bags get clogged with some like sugar particles. I mentioned this many times. Sugar here, powdered sugar, it's not the best quality. So I'm trying to work with it the best I can. And sometimes it just clogs up the bag a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna create some highlights, reflections. So I'm gonna pipe large dot in I should say, I don't want to say corner because this is not a corner, but at the very top on the right side. And then for the very small reflection, we're going to pick up a dot of icing with a scribe, and I'm just going to place it on the bottom here. And you need to do this while the icing is wet. Otherwise, it's going to start crusting, and then the layers are not going to sink into each other. Now we're going to work on the horn. And the reason I'm working on the horn now, because if you don't, I'm going to show you the finished, well, this is partially finished. We still have to add some details. If you want to, oops, if you don't want to add anything here to cover this area, to the border or the seam, it's kind of hard to do the horn with this area already piped. And you'll see what I mean in a second. Eyes can be so tricky. I definitely need to practice. Yes, they can be tricky, but I think we put so much pressure on ourselves to make them look so realistic. You can also use a brush to make really cool eyes. And wet on wet technique really works well. If you wanted to make this even more special, you could use a little bit of white before you add the black, and just add like some white lines into the blue. Or you could make the iris with the pupil as a transfer. I mean, there are just so many possibilities. I do like to make them as transfers. It just makes life so much easier. I like to use candy eyes whenever possible. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, it definitely helps to have those handy. I try to do reflection dots, and they never come out right. What do you mean they never come out right? Are they not sinking in? I'm just curious. When I'm doing these small ones, I always use the scribe. It just helps, and I have more control where I'm placing it. And I am, with the piping bag, piping a really small reflection dot, it can be tricky. Linda has the same problem with the sugar. Yes, me too. I buy different brands of sugar here. It's quite expensive. Um, we still have to sift it, and then I keep it for a couple of weeks, and then I have to sift it again before I use it. It's very strange. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the horn. So here I've got, this is a piping tip number 3, and my piping bag is filled with like thick consistency icing. And what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna do it on a cookie. I'm not even gonna demonstrate on the paper towel, on a towel. So I'm gonna start piping in this section here. What that means that it's going to, like, it's hard to explain. You would have to, you see this area here? So this is the border. So if I was to pipe this, I'm gonna just do this. If I was to pipe this while I already have this this section ice, this is gonna be so difficult to do. So I rather do it before I ice that section. Can you make your own? You could, but that's not good enough for icing for royal icing. Royal icing, sugar for royal icing should be really the highest possible quality, at least 10 times polarized. Really, even sugar, even when you buy powdered sugar and you feel like it's fine, you need to really make royal icing and see if it works. Because I have bought powdered sugar and it looks fine, and then suddenly when you make royal, it doesn't. Yeah, so this doesn't really work for me. Maybe somebody has a really high-end or professional blender that they use and it works, but for me, it didn't really work. I think I started my line a little too vertical, but it's okay. We're gonna live with that. Okay, now to smooth these lines, you can use your paintbrush and just shape the points. And at the very end, there is some excess, so we can remove that. And then on this side, you can do the same. And the very bottom, we're just going to scrape that off. So we've got our, I'm just going to mark it like this so you can see what I'm doing. We've got our outline here, or the guide, so I can just scrape that off with my scribe. Okay, and then we can do this section here without worrying that we won't be able to fit this little line there. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the ear. And for the ear, I'm going to use, this is the same consistency icing I use for the eyes. The reason I'm using this consistency is because the section I'm gonna create, it's quite narrow. And so again, I want to avoid cratering in my icing. So it's better to use thicker icing. And it's such a small area, so it's going to be fine. You'll be able to smooth it out in no time. You won't have to worry about it crusting. So now you can come in with a scribe, and we're gonna do the head right after, because I want to make sure that the ear is kind of connected and we don't have a border there. So I'm coming in, and this is a flat consistency, about 15 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead, let's start here. So I'm stopping here. I want to make sure that there is no border between here, this, so I want to make sure that it's all blended in. And you can tell that I'm squeezing my piping bag a bit more, so more icing is coming out. I don't want to have a large opening on my piping bag because now you see I'm going to go around the eye. And I don't want to add too much icing around the eye, so I'm really careful not to overdo it. And now we can use the scribe. Just agitate the icing, and if you see any dimples or any bubbles, you can pop them now. Don't wait for the icing to crust or dry, okay? All right. Hey, June, I need to text you. Hey, June, hello, hello. Janice, I bake cookies for a friend whose daughter has a corn allergy, and I was making gingerbread cookies. See, corn allergy. So if you have a corn allergy, I mean you should be fine. Did you have a question? Because I don't know if you could maybe specify if you had a question, Janice. But it's wonderful that you are baking cookies for a friend. There are so many people with different allergies. It is sometimes very important to ask about this beforehand so you don't accidentally make cookies that will cause an allergic reaction. You are oh, thank you. I don't feel like one. Oh, that kind of looks like something out of My Little Pony. Thank you. Hello, Hannah. Okay, so now we're going to do the mane, and for the mane, we're going to be using 3 colors. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm focusing on different color theme, and not doing the rainbow that I've done so many times. So we're going to be doing this Wedgwood blue, ivory, and this is kind of like a salmon color. It's one of my favorite colors. Actually, it matches. I think it matches the dress. And so I'm going to. I don't want to have the salmon color next to the ear because I feel like it will be too much. So I'm going to do the salmon color in the middle, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start with this color. And we're also going to have white on hand. We're going to be doing some wet on wet, very simple highlights. And those of you who are new to the live stream, thank you for coming. I would love to learn, how did you hear about the live stream? And then also you can, if you don't want to miss any more live cookie decorating action, you can sign up for the newsletter and you will get reminders about the live streams. We go live, or I go live. I feel like we go live together. So I keep saying we are going live every Wednesday, unless I have to change a date or something like that. But I will let you know beforehand. And so you get a reminder. Did you guys get a reminder this week today? Because I haven't gotten a reminder. I sent it to myself. Not that I will forget, but like so to make sure that it's going out. And I don't think it made it to my inbox. So let me know if it made it into your inbox. All right, now I'm gonna do the highlight, and this is just white icing, again about 15-second consistency, same icing I use for the head. And I'm just piping some dots, 3 dots here, and then I'm gonna do 3 dots in this little corner here. Okay, very nice. All right, so we've got this going on. You did get a reminder. Okay, so you found a powder, so I found a recipe on how to make powdered sugar with tapioca starch. Oh, really? That's fantastic. Did you use it to make the icing? You must have a really powerful blender. I don't have a good blender then. Because yeah, but granulated sugar basically not granulated powdered sugar. Most of the powdered sugar when you buy it, it has 3%. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, the starch is in the powdered sugar. Now I'm okay. I get it now. So the starch is made out cornstarch. It's that would be the allergy. That would be the allergen. So you had to make your own powdered sugar. Yeah, that makes sense. Wow, because there is usually 3% of cornstarch in powdered sugar. It's an anti-caking agent, and so you had to use tapioca or like potato starch or something like that. Yeah, I have not been successful. I wish my blender would do that for me because like it would be fantastic if I could do that, but no luck. Oh, Kathy hasn't seen it in her inbox. Yeah, I'm curious. Angie got it, so I wonder what happened. So thank you for letting me know. I also wanted to not remind you, but like I wanted to share it with you. So last week, I'm just waiting for this to crust a little bit, so I'm killing time. I shared in my Patreon group how to make these lily cookies and lily pad cookies with water drops. This was such a fun project, and so if you want to check it out, you can sign up for the Patreon. It's in a 3D Visits group, and I see more comments. Hello, Sandra. Charlie, you said you used 20. Yes, but if I use that, would that not be smooth? No, what I meant is when you're using thicker icing, it tends to crust faster because there's less water, and so the impact of air circulation around it is just causing it to crust faster. So on the eye is such a small area. I think you'll be fine. But if you were to ice a large cookie with like 24-second consistency icing, um, it will start crusting fast, and you will not be able to most likely to smooth it quickly enough before it starts crusting. If you are struggling and it's still crusting very, very fast, even with like 15-second consistency, then what you can do, you can make an outline icing like 20, 25 seconds and do an outline around the whole cookie and then fill it with like 10 or 8 to 10 second consistency, which is super fluid. And this fluid icing without the outline will most likely overflow, but with the little dam that you will create with that thicker icing, it will stay in place. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, June. Thank you, Janice. Also with the ice, yeah, you can use. Also, I have not used golden syrup. I have it in my pantry, but I have not used it in royal icing. I have used corn syrup on occasion if I want to have like a softer bite, or if somebody was requesting a softer bite. But I haven't used golden syrup. But I think they are perhaps interchangeable. You can use them because they are used in a small amount, right? Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in, Karen. You have a great day. All right, and I also I'm a little behind. I have to say I had. Oh, sorry. Oh, what's going on? I turned off my phone, but sorry, guys. Oh, it was a spam. I don't understand. I have my phone on mute, but the spam gets through. Terrible. So I'm a little behind with this tutorial. It was supposed to go out today, but we've had technical issues last week, and so I'm a little behind. I hope to have it out in the Patreon tomorrow and latest on Friday. So thank you so much for your patience. Okay, and I see a comment. Sandra, let's see. I'm so happy that you translate the recipes. Thankfully, we do have Google Translate. I often use it to translate from Spanish to English so I can understand, and it's perfectly fine to use it. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we're going to go ahead and continue. So now I think everything looks pretty good. It's crusted. So I'm going to add my Edgewood blue here, and then we're going to add ivory, and then we'll continue here. So let's do this section here. And to make this color, so this is a royal blue with just a touch of black. Touch of black, and it creates this really beautiful color. I love this color. I actually have a couple of dresses with this color as well. Now I'm going to turn my cookie like this so you can see better what I'm doing here. So when trying to get the icing into really hard to reach areas, you can kind of drag the icing with your scribe tool, and it's almost like you're placing it there and you're hugging the previous adjacent section on the side here. Okay, now we're going to create the same highlight with the white. Thank you, Janet. Janice, sorry, Janice. I'm terrible with names. Now let's do 3 more dots here. Now I'm going to use the same blue. We're going to make a section that is blue here. Okay, so it's basically like it's continuing from this area over here. And again, I'm going to turn it so you can see better. What I'm going to do, I'm going to shape it over here. I'm going to take some icing and I'm just going to go for it like this. A little bit of flare. Just make sure that you don't, like this icing, the white icing underneath, it's not dry. So make sure that you don't use your scribe. You're not too energetic and you don't puncture it. Oh, let's move this up here. Okay, that's okay. And now we're gonna go ahead and do the ivory section, which is super small at the very bottom. And so let's do it. Thank you, Sally. It's not finished yet. We're gonna be adding some, or I'm gonna be showing you some details, some embellishments that you can use, and you can decide which ones you like the best. All of them, or most of them, are transfers. Okay, now when you do the white on ivory, it's barely visible, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay. So we've got this going on. Now I'm going to, thank you, Hannah. I'm going to switch my unicorns. So I've got one here. I'm waiting for this area to crust. So that's why I put it on the side, but I already did the top section. Let me just wipe my hands. I've got some icing on them, on the fingers. And so we're going to do eyelashes. Who is afraid of eyelashes? Raise a hand. And also, guys, if you enjoy the live stream, what really helps is if you share the live stream, you give it a big thumbs up. That's also very helpful, and I appreciate your help very, very much. So for the eyelashes, we're going to be using black icing. And this is not the same consistency I used for the pupil. It's slightly thicker. And let me just, if I can get, I don't have a piece of paper here, do I? I'm just going to do this. I've got some transfers here, so I'm going to remove it. So the idea is to, so imagine this would be the, it's clogged up. Something new for a change. Okay. Okay, I think we are ready to go. Rock and roll. Okay. So imagine, let me zoom in on this. Okay. So imagine this is your eye. Oops. Approximately, okay. And so what we're going to do, we're going to pipe the line for the eyelashes on the border between the eye and the white icing we did. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pipe it like here. And then we're going to add 3 lines, something like that. Oh, hopefully better. So you see the border, it's like here. So I'm going to pipe it here and then extend it. and make a like a longer lash here, or is lash. Beautiful. Gonna make these cookies later. Fantastic. Okay, let's just do it. So I'm holding my piping bag with the seam facing the palm of my hand. I'm releasing the pressure now, pulling away. Okay, and now immediately coming in, releasing the pressure, pulling away. Now with your scribe, you can still kind of shape the ends if you want to have them even pointier. Yes, you can definitely use. I don't think I'm brave enough to do with icing. I think I would cheat and use a food pen. It's perfectly fine. I love using food pen. You can also do that, and I see Karen is using it as well. Yes, you can use a fine tip marker. It's a really great. Do I have it here? Yes, like this fine tip marker you could use. I actually have to say, excuse me, sometimes I struggle with using a marker. This is another one that you could use. So if this doesn't, if this is not something you want to, or you don't want to take a chance on, like if you don't want to, let's say, you would mess up a cookie, I would then really highly suggest that you use a marker. And it's perfectly fine if you use a marker. So now I think this is all crust. Oh, look what I did. I touched it and I messed it up here on the bottom. So I'm just going to add some icing, and it's not dry yet. It's just like it started to crust. So I'm going to use my scribe and just wiggle it, and it's going to be perfectly fine. So that's why when you're decorating, you have to kind of keep in like your head, keep in mind that like when you're touching the cookies and you touch it like this and your icing is not dry, then you can make a dent. So everybody is using edible marker, but I want to challenge you, try to use an icing, try to use the icing. I think you will surprise yourself. All right, so now we can do the top section. That's going to be done with this lovely salmon color. Yeah, I completely understand. Yeah, because I will also often use marker. I just felt little, I guess I was a little brave. I was brave today. I was doing it with icing. My hands shake so much. Oh yeah, I understand. Have you tried holding, like, kind of supporting your hand? Because my hand will also shake. And what I often do, I don't have it here, but I will put not paper towel, kitchen towel on my table, and I will actually rest my kind of my elbow on the towel, because if I just rest it on a table, it hurts if you do that for longer, and that also kind of helps stabilize my arm a little bit. All right. So let's do section. Let me remove this so we can see better. But I completely understand. I have used, and I will often grab a pen because it's just so much easier. And if especially if, let's say, if we are not using any black icing, like you can completely eliminate making the black, which I find it's a blessing if we can eliminate making black icing, because it can be pain to make black icing, right? I'm going to turn it, try to turn it without messing up my edges. Already. So the first layer, like this is all done, right? Well, we are missing here, we have to, I think I can do it now because it's crusted. I'm going to do another. Were those bubbles on that cookie you just showed? Uh, uh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what bubbles. I guess you mean these. I don't know. We have a few more minutes to. These are going to be out on Patreon. It's a really fun watercolor technique, and I hope you will enjoy it. Okay, let me just go back. I think that's what you meant. Yeah, that's going to be out in Patreon. So let's do this one more time. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside, and I've got one that is dry and ready to be embellished. Now, you don't have to do anything else to it if you don't want to, but I just want to show you things that you could do, and I've got so many different transfers here. So these are all transfers, and these cute little daisies, you can find a full tutorial on the blog. It's a free tutorial. I'm going to put a link in a comment section. I meant a kitchen towel. I think I have here. So like a kitchen towel. So I fold it and I put it like on the edge because that's where it kind of hurts. And I will have to take a picture of it or something so you can visualize it. So these you could use, if you wanted to, you could use these to embellish. And then I'm lucky because I had so many transfers. I've got the mini, and this is from an Easter project I did a couple of years ago. So it just shows you that transfers will last for a long time. And you can use the minis. You could also, I think it'll be like nice like this. Maybe if you want to, if you don't want to cover the top, you don't have to. Another thing you could do, and I also have, and this is another idea, so I'm going to remove this. I also have some stars. You see, these are also transfers. You can add some stars. And these could potentially be added as your icing, so they sink in. Okay. I also have, remember these? We did these for the Valentine's Day. So you can really elevate this design with so many different transfers. I also have little red hearts that you could glue on. And the list of things you could add to this to make it your own goes on. I do like the red hearts, I have to say, and the stars and the flowers. I like them all. And then you could also add a little bow. You will have to make it slightly smaller, perhaps. So if in case you are shipping these or packaging so it doesn't break. And then another idea is to make, I've got some butterflies. These are quite big, but I really love butterflies and unicorns together. And thank you, June. Me too. I mean, I love them all. You could do, yes, the mouth. The mouth would be just I'm gonna be putting this up as Patreon tutorial, so that's why not. I'm not gonna finish everything now, plus we are running out of time. But the mouth is gonna be here, it's just gonna be white, and then the nostril there. And you could do the mouth with edible marker, and the nostril as well. And then I think a little bit of color for the cheeks. That will be also very nice. Now, if you have smaller butterflies, you could also add some butterflies. That will be really nice as well. But I think I would like it a bit smaller. And then you could, I mean, this is crazy. Like with transfers, you can do so many things. Yeah. So you let me know when you make this project, and I can't wait to see your take on it. And otherwise, the tutorial for this will be available in Patreon at some point. I will finish it off with extra details, and also the horn. I don't know if you can tell in this picture. The horn is painted with gold. And here, oh yeah, this is a good example. So if we zoom in, this one I made after I decorated this section. So it's very difficult to get into this area. So when you do it beforehand, before you ice it, you are able to get a full coverage here, and then you can just scrape that off. All right. So I think I'm leaning towards, I mean, I love these daisies. It's so pretty. Very dreamy. And the stars. Let's not cover the whole thing. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. If you want to see more from the live stream playlist, you can find it on YouTube and also on Facebook. There is a plethora of, there's 220 now, I think, tutorials. Free live stream tutorials that you can watch, and it will perhaps occupy your whole summer. If you have any question, you can always contact me or reach out to me through social media. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week, same time, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time on Facebook and YouTube. Bye, guys.